بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره. اللهم رب لك الحمد حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت وحدك لا شريك لك مالك الملك محيي العظام والرميم. وأشهد أن محمدا عبدك ورسولك. وأصلي وأسلم على سيدي رسول الله إمام المجاهدين وقائد الحر غر المحجلين. رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا شاهدا ومبشرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا. My dear brothers and sisters, I came all the way from Seattle to address you about some project, inshallah. But before I talk about that, I used to live here in this city, probably 40 years ago, or probably more. And I witnessed the growth of the Muslim communities everywhere. And alhamdulillah, I can see the product of that growth. And we see so many masjid here and there, and the community increasing day after day. But at the same time, I felt or I sensed that we, as a Muslim, we lack what the Prophet ﷺ tried to teach us. With all that growth in the population and congregation and centers, we start really almost abandoning the real role of what the Muslim should be. The Prophet ﷺ summoned the role of the Muslim in one beautiful hadith. He wants the Muslim to be the positive element in the universe, not in the society. The moment the Muslim understands his role in life, he is the only one, with no exception, he is the only one who can move the whole humanity in the positive direction. Nobody else. As long as he understands his role on this earth, the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described it, and the way the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam manifested in his life. This hadith, he said, it is an authentic hadith. And Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, if the hour comes and in the hand of any one of you a palm seedling, and he has the chance, the opportunity, the time to plant it, and he will be rewarded. The Arabic hadith, إن قامت الساعة وفي يد أحدكم فسيلة فاستطاع ألا تقوم أن يغرسها فليغرسها فإن له بذلك. When you look at this hadith deeply, the Prophet ﷺ combined the most difficult circumstances a human being can face. It is the hour. There is nothing left. There is no mansions to build. There is no account. There is no business to look after. There is nothing. It's everything. And if you read the terrifying moment of the hour in the Quran, it is really, it is so terrifying. يوم تذهل كل مرضعة عما أرضعت وتضع كل ذات حمل حملها وترى الناس سكارى وما هم بسكارى ولكن عذاب الله. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, you the Muslims, He didn't specify what kind of Muslims, young, old, healthy, sick. He said, in the hand of any one of you, male, female, no exception. He said, if you are in this situation, and he chose for him the most difficult plant to grow, a palm seedling, a young, very, very small plant, which take ages in order to grow and bear fruits. He said, if you are in that situation, don't ever be a negative person. Be always the positive one, planted, and you will be rewarded. Some people might raise a question, what, at this moment? At this terrific time? Who is going to take care of it? When is going to grow? When I am going to get the fruit from it? When? And sometimes these questions really might sound legitimate, which is not. It is just an excuse not to do the job. It is another way to run away from the duty to in shoulder. It is very obvious it's going to take ages, but we grew up, my dear brothers and sisters, unfortunately in our culture, it doesn't matter from where we came, but in our cultures, all the time, we grew up to see the reward which we can touch it, we can feel it. A pat on the shoulder, a plaque on the wall, a certificate of recognition, a medal here, another medal there, which is all fine. I am not really putting these down. The Prophet ﷺ did recognize the people, did recognize the goodness in the individual, did praise and honor those. This is all accepted. But here the Prophet ﷺ trying to teach us something different. We have to take the initiative, regardless of the end result. We grew up. We need the end result the way we design it. And the end result, it is not in our hand. The end result in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In your hand, by what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed you with, you can weed the soil, we can dig the hole, you can put the plant, you can water the plant, but it is not in your hand to give life to the plant, it is in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is what the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, yes, the reward, you can see it in your life, but don't make it the ultimate goal in order to start moving or to do the positive thing. Do what you're supposed to do or what is required from you to be done. And after you're done, raise your hand to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless your work and to continue that effort. This concept that the end result has to be the way I design it, we should set it aside. Yes, a planning is required. Don't get me wrong. Don't sit just in the corner of the masjid and raise your hand without doing any serious work in order to. You cannot just sit in the corner. The planning is required. Management of your resources is required. Looking for every single thing Allah put it under your disposal in order to make your mission as successful, it is required. But when all these are available to you, remember the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Take the first step, plant it, take care of it as long as you can, and the fruit, you might see it in your life, and you might not. But the new generation after you, the generations after you, will see the fruit of your labor. You know, I remember when I was here in Los Angeles years ago, in the early 70s. There are a few, and we used to pray at the USC, in the campus, because we couldn't find it. But with the labor of so many dedicated Muslims, sometimes I visited some other masjid. I say, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. The people are, they are doing what's supposed from them to be done. And there are so many places, those who really put the plant and they are no longer here. Either they passed away or they left. But what they left behind them, it is a great reward for them, is waiting them for in the hereafter. The second portion of the hadith is planted and he will be rewarded. And again, all the time we are looking to see the reward, we touch it, to feel it. But the Prophet ﷺ tried to teach us the real reward, it is what's settled with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Qiyamah is here, and the Prophet told you to plant a plant. He said, plant it and you will be rewarded. We have to really to understand that concept. That whatever we struggle, whatever we do, don't expect somebody to come and tell you thank you and he jazakallah khair. This is fine. We have to recognize that. But you are doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are increasing your account there. You will see it really accumulated for there here, piles after piles like mountains. You will find it in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever you do, you are not giving, whether it is a charity or contribution, you are not putting it in the hand of the one who is giving the speech or the one who is looking for, or the people now. You are putting it in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And anything you put it in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it will never drop. Allah will grow it for you. My dear brothers and sisters, it is a reminder. I didn't like, but let me just, here the time is very limited. I give you two examples from the life of the Prophet ﷺ who manifested that. You know, he sat in Mecca for 13 years. And he was hurt. And he was really abused. And people attacked him. He can say, oh God, I am tired. I spent 13 years laboring and nobody is responding. This is your religion. Take it. I am resigned. No. The Muslim shouldn't resign his post, shouldn't retreat, shouldn't give up, shouldn't lose hope, shouldn't feel helpless. But the Prophet ﷺ was so persistent. Even when the angels came, Allah sent them, the angels of the mountain, that to crush the mountains on the kuffar of Quraysh. What the Prophet ﷺ said, he said, no, I pray to Allah that Allah will bring from their offspring those who worship Him. He was looking for the hope. He will never really despair. He never give up. He never look for negative things. Oh, there is no, I hear this so many, actually there is no need here. Why you are bothering yourself to build a masjid? Why you are bothering yourself to take care of the school? Why? Forget about this. This is not the attitude of the Muslims. The attitude of the Muslims is what the Prophet ﷺ did. I mean, if we are going to struggle for 13 years the way he did, we give up after 13 days, not 13 years. And another example, my dear, when he couldn't find the fertile land, he decided to migrate. But look, he managed everything. He didn't say, oh Allah, I am migrating and leave. No! Look to the trip of the Hijrah. He managed, he planned in the best way he can in order to make it successful. He can say, oh, it is a long journey, which is true. It is over 400 kilometers. He is not driving it on an AC air-conditioned car. No. He was walking on a camel. It is not an easy journey. He could say, oh, Quraysh is going to chase me. Oh, I might lose my way. Oh, all these excuses will satisfy us. Let me sit down. Let me sit down. But the Prophet ﷺ, he took everything put in his disposal and he raised his hand to Allah It is up to you to make it a successful. It is up to you to make it not. The same way as he did it in Badr. The same way in Badr. When Badr, by any means, it is a losing battle. The Quraysh are outnumbering the people, and they are well equipped. But when he faced the challenge, he utilized whatever he has, and he stand up in the tent. Oh Allah, it's up to you. I did what I supposed to do. It's up to you to give us victory or to give us defeat. It's not. And this is the attitude, my dear. And I think the 2 minutes, the two beeps still, the two beeps. You told me it's already passed.
No, it's
Okay. Let me give you one from the recent history. I say recent history. Muhammad al-Fatih, the one who conquered the Constantinople. It is now Istanbul. They came to people all the time. You will find people, this is their nature, is to discourage you. Don't do it. There is no benefit from here. Forget about it. There is no use. You will find this kind of people everywhere, anywhere, anytime, till the day of judgment. They came to him and said, "Why you are crazy?" He was 21 years old. They tried before, since the time of Uthman radiallahu anhu. And all the Umayyads, they couldn't do it. What do you think you are? He said, look to the wise answer. He said, fine. They did what they can do at their time. It is my time. Let me try it. And if Allah make it successful, that's it. If it's not, then that's fine. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him. And it was a successful one. I hope, my dear brother and sister, the whole issue to me is the Muslim to realize that they shouldn't just sit down and change the whole religion into rituals. The real rituals is how to make life more productive in the direction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. I didn't hear it. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدي رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه. My dear brothers and sisters, I talk on behalf of this organization. I am really a retired university professor. I live in Seattle, and most of the time I try to help this organization. This is an American organization, but it is really has an international impact all over more than 25 or 30 countries. They are in the field of relief or work for the last 25 to 26 years. And the project which we are coming here to introduce to you is about the orphans. The orphans are the weakest link in the society. They are the most vulnerable people. You can lose them to the society, to the drug, to the corruption. They can lose their identity. They can lose their deen because they are young, no supervision. They lost their parents, nobody taking care of them. So they are an easy victim of the corrupted society. According to the UNICEF, which is the sub-organization in the United Nations which deal with the children, they said I didn't have the recent report, but the report of last year, that the orphans in the world in general is 140 million orphans. The Muslim countries has the lion's share of that. They have about 25% of the orphan in the Muslim countries. And I can mention one or two countries, and it will be very surprising. In Iraq, we have over 7 million orphans in one country, and just in Iraq. If I add to it what we see nowadays of the conflict, if I add the misfortunes of the Afghani, the Pakistani, if I go down to Syria, if I go to anywhere you go, what you see, you are seeing numbers of orphans coming every single day. People losing their parents, people losing their homes. Numbers of widows are really beyond this, is skyrocketing. So we are asking you, my dear brothers and sisters, I am almost done. Yeah, 2 minutes, 5 minutes? Oh, thank you so much for your generosity. So the project is very easy. There is this pamphlet. The brother who is in charge, he's from this city. I think he lives in Santa Ana, I believe, who's running the office of the organization here in Southern California. He set a table there. The program of sponsoring an orphan, it is up to you to choose from any country which we sponsor, or this organization sponsor. Then we have it from Sierra Leone, all the way to Afghanistan, down to Iraq, down to Syria, to Turkey. It's up to you. But the cost, it is $660 a year, which I believe it is $55 a month. You can do it on a monthly basis, so you don't feel the impact, or paying it in one shot. You can pay it by credit card, by check. You can do it by installment. But please, take one orphan in the name of your son, in the name of your daughter. Let them feel that they do have some brother and sister to them, not a blood relative, but they are Muslims like them. And my goal really, what I'm looking for, it is not just the money. We are losing the children really to the corrupted society where they live, you know. And I can elaborate on more than that, but the time is limited. I need you, my dear brothers and sisters, make the intention you are planting that plant. That child, when he grow up and he learn that the one who kept his deen for him, the one who preserved his identity, is a Muslim somewhere far away from him, the only motivation that Muslim in order to pick him as an orphan is to do it for the sake of Allah, is because of this deen, this great deen. The values in the heart of that child of this deen will grow so big that he say, this is the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is the deen worth sacrificing the life for it. So do your share, my dear brothers, inshallah. I deliver the message, I am the messenger, I took it from my shoulder, it is on your shoulder, and I have the full hope, and I'm very confident that inshallah, all of you, I'm not going to say a few, but inshallah, all of you will take a portion of that project. اللهم يا أرحم الراحمين ويا أكرم الأكرمين ويا رب السماوات والأرض ويا رب العرش العظيم نسألك باسمك العظيم اللهم اغفر ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا واعف عنا وارحمنا يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم اغفر لنا ولأهالينا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ربنا ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين اللهم ارحم موتانا وموتى المسلمين اللهم اعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا ووفقنا لطاعتك يا أرحم الراحمين واجعلنا في رضاك يا رب العرش العظيم وصل اللهم على سيدي رسول الله وآله وصحبه أجمعين وآخر